Did I totally film the whole intro without realizing that the cat fountain was on? Yes. Yes, I did. Hello, my feral friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Panthera, and I'm the Feralwood Witch. Today, Nuna, no, don't rub against that. Ah, bumping against my tripod. Stop it! Just stay still. Don't move. Today, we're going to be delving into Ostara, a little brief history, the correspondences, ideas for magical workings, and ways to celebrate the Sabbat. So grab your beverage and note-taking implements of choice, and let's get started. So what is Ostara? Ostara is one of the 8 Sabbats on the Wheel of the Year and takes place during the spring or vernal equinox, when night and day are equal. The name Ostara comes from a Germanic goddess of the same name and is very similar to the Saxon goddess Jostar, the goddess of the dawn. This Sabbat marks the official start of spring and is a time to celebrate balance and to prepare for the increased daylight and the increased productivity that comes along with that. Don't scritch it. Luna? Are you done? You're the troublemaker, aren't you? Aren't you the troublemaker, huh? For our more agriculturally based ancestors, this period of time symbolized the transition from the more harsh but restful winter into the busy but more fruitful summer ahead. We'll be doing a deep dive into the history of Ostara in a future video. But now that we have a base overview of the Sabbat, let's get into some correspondences. Correspondences are basically the items that are related to this period of time and the themes that we see during Ostara. They may be associated with the Sabbat through different folklore or traditions that take place during this time. The colors that are associated with Ostara are green, light blue, pink, purple, silver, violet, white, and yellow. The crystals, stones, and metals that are associated with Ostara are agate, amethyst, aquamarine, bloodstone, rose quartz, and silver. Animals associated with Ostara are bees, boar, butterflies, chicks, hedgehogs, horses, the phoenix, Luna, hey, rabbits, rams, robins, and snakes. Trees associated with Ostara are alder, apple, ash, birch, and hawthorn. Herbs and plants associated with Ostara are broom, columbine, crocus, daffodil, daisy, dill, high john root, honeysuckle, hyacinth, Irish moss, jasmine, lemongrass. Luna? Luna! Miss Nana, this kitty cat driving me nuts. Lilac, narcissus, primrose. Oh my God, that little floppy fish is going. Can I show you guys? What is that kitty doing? Oh wow, this is hard. It's okay though, we're doing our best. Rose and violets. Food and drink associated with Ostara are asparagus, breads, eggs, fresh greens, honey, hot cross buns, lamb, mead, radishes, seafood, and seeds. And lastly, here are the deities commonly associated with Ostara, the spring equinox, to save myself from having to pronounce them all. I do want to clarify that I don't think deities should be used like an herb. They shouldn't just be thrown into any spell willy-nilly. But more if you already work with one of these deities, now is a great time to do some extra spell work incorporating them, or maybe give some extra offerings. Now that you have the correspondences covered, let's talk about some ideas for magical workings. These are the themes that are particularly potent during the Sabbat. And bonus points if you can squeeze in some of the correspondences we've already discussed. So, some ideas for magical workings for the Sabbat are abundance, balance, change, any type of egg magic, so protection, cleansings, or burying eggs for prosperity and abundance, fertility, growth, healing, light, love, lust, motivation, new beginnings, passion, prosperity, purification, rejuvenation, renewal, road openers, and seed blessings. Now let's talk about some ways that you can celebrate Ostara, along with some traditions that have sprung up from these spring equinox festivals. And much like we saw with Yule, you might recognize a lot of these traditions in our modern day Easter. Luna, hey, Luna, The kitty is so cute, but she's so loud. Why? Why are all the toys loud? Also, little disclaimer here first. You absolutely shouldn't beat yourself up over not being able to have a big ritual or a huge feast on the Sabbath. Celebrating can be as simple or as grand as you'd like and have the energy for. Not celebrating doesn't make you any less of a witch or practitioner. Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. Ostara traditions are typically centered around this idea of balance between both summer and winter and day and night. From here on out, the days hold power over the night as we lead up to the summer solstice. Birds are returning from their winter migrations, plants are beginning to peek up through the snow, and mammals are starting to awaken from their hibernation. Life is returning to the world, and this is a great time to celebrate that growth and the fertility of the land. So let's start with the story of the Easter Bunny. While commonly associated with Easter, it's a little strange that an egg-laying rabbit makes an appearance in a Christian holiday, right? Well, the story of the Easter Bunny is actually a myth of Ostara, the goddess of the dawn. The story says that the goddess came across a wounded bird, and in order to save and to heal the creature, she transformed that bird into a hare. Now the hare, although they looked like a rabbit in every way physically, still maintained some bird-like characteristics and continued to lay eggs. The hare, thankful for Ostara's intervention and healing, leaves out eggs as an offering for the goddess. So eggs, birds, and rabbits are all common symbols of spring. They all represent that growth and that fertility of the season. So decorating and dyeing eggs is a great way to celebrate this time of the year. You can use any of the standard store-bought egg dyeing kits, or if you're feeling especially crafty, do some research on natural ways of dyeing eggs, such as using purple cabbage or red onion skins. You can even paint these eggs with sigils for protection, growth, and abundance. Place them on your altar as decoration before eventually returning them to the earth by burying them either under your doorstep or in your garden. Speaking of decorating my altar is one of my favorite ways to celebrate the Sabbats. I just feel like it helps me get into such a celebratory mood. It gets me excited for the season. Try to use some corresponding colors, images, items, themes, herbs, or crystals to create an Ostara themed place for your magical workings. Also, if the weather is starting to be nice near you, consider creating an outdoor altar to do your springtime workings. If you don't have an altar that you can decorate, you can also use your clothing to celebrate the spring. Dress in colors that represent Ostara to you and the themes that you want to embrace during the season. This is also a great time to start making flower crowns, daisy chains, or any other kind of floral accessory to wear or to decorate with. And last, but certainly not least, the food. I mean, who doesn't love a good feast, right? Ostara is a great time to work with more in-season foods and to test out your baking skills. Try making some seed bread or some hot cross buns, which are actually traditional for this time of the year. You can also just make some light salads using fresh in-season greens. Toss in some seeds or some fruits that are already in season in your area. And of course, eggs, right? Egg-based dishes such as deviled eggs or even just an omelet also using some of those like fresh greens are another great addition to your plate during Ostara. But that's all for today, my friends. I hope this video gave you a brief but thorough look into the Sabbat of Ostara. I do hope to eventually cover a lot of each Sabbat in depth. However, I figured this gives us a good foundation to build off of. Let me know in the comments what your plans are for this spring equinox. Also, I've created a free Grimoire post just for you, and it is linked down in the description below along with the accompanying blog post. And until I see you next time, my friend, stay wild. You're so cute.